wake up with wake. So today we're going to look at something you'll see. So you don't stop something by trying to stop it. You stop something by rising above it. There's an element of, it's force versus identity change. When you try to get yourself to stop a behavior, it's hard because it's so linked into your identity. But if you change the identity, then sometimes the behavior falls away. Now, how do you change your identity? It brings us to the concept of worth and esteem, and the importance of an internalized sense of esteem, an internalized sense of worth, and an internal locus of control. And there's this element here, there's this journey of the immense importance of increasing self-worth and self-esteem in a culture that says don't think too much of yourself or don't be arrogant. And that this self-worth and this self-esteem that I'm speaking of is not a comparative one. It's not about saying, I am better than that other person. I'm better than this, I'm better than that. And it's not about going, I'm worse than this or I'm worse than that. It's about recognizing an inherent value. It's about seeing oneself as the gem, as the treasure that they are. Gem, treasure, miracle. That when you see yourself as this gem, this treasure, this miracle, and again, not in contrast or comparison to anyone else who is also a gem, a treasure, and a miracle. It's not comparative. It's not on the paradigm of comparativity. It's not on the paradigm of comparativity. It's about seeing it inherently that simply to exist, to be here, to have arrived, and to be a wanderer or a traveler on planet Earth means to be a gem, means to be supernatural, means to be magical, means to be a treasure. But we are then brainwashed by society and culture. We are brainwashed by dogma that essentially chips away at our worth. Be quiet, don't take up space. You're wrong. All the voices that get us to kind of go, oh, well then I must not be good enough. I must not be worth it. So it's really this unschooling, this unlearning, this retraining to see oneself, to honor the value of oneself. And that by building that, by incrementally, baby steps, leaps and bounds, by incrementally retraining, unlearning, building that self-worth, re-identifying, cultivating new identities, shaping, structuring the new identity, one of worth and esteem, that there is no longer any interest in the prior behavior. If you think of it like this, the person who does not feel worthy will subject themselves to pain and punishment, masquerading as love. The person who does not feel worthy will go, oh, I'm not worth it. I'm not worthy. I don't have esteem. So I can put this garbage and this poison in my eyes. I can put this garbage and this poison in my ears. I can eat this garbage and this poison. I can be involved in garbage and poisonous relationships. But when you elevate, when you retrain yourself to go, wait, what if I truly were a gem or a treasure? What if I were a gem, a treasure, a temple, a sacred being? Would I consume this substance? Would I eat this food? Would I put this food into my body? Would I put this media into my body? Would I put this media into my eyes? Would I put this media into my ears? So the key is not trying to stop a behavior. The key is to not go off or quit the behavior, but to redefine and reaffirm a self and an identity that is worth far more, not worth more than another being, but that's worth far more so much more than that which is being consumed by it. It's like if I were a temple, would I allow myself to be trampled upon with dirty shoes? If I were a luxury vehicle, Would I allow someone to put in fuel that is unfit for the engine of this luxury vehicle? So it begins with, I am a gem. I am a treasure. I am a temple. I am a luxury vehicle. How will you charge or fuel this luxury vehicle? I am sacred. I am valuable. I am a gem. I am a diamond. I am of infinite value. And it's not coming from a place, again, of arrogance. It's coming from a place of reverence, of cherishing. It does not have to come from a place of ego. It's not, again, it's not in the paradigm of ego or comparison. It's not an us versus them, a me versus you, a better than. It's a deep internal love and reverence, like a thick syrup, a thick, rich syrup of wellness that is cultivated and then overflows. It is a vastness of love within, pouring out, rather than a drought. It is a patching up of all of the holes, and then allowing the filling up of this thick, rich syrup of wellness and love and worth and esteem. And this is cultivated through new thoughts, new practices, new beliefs, reaffirming, unschooling, reaffirming. And if you focus on that, if you prioritize that, if you focus on that and you prioritize that, everything changes. Everything will naturally change. You won't have to force a restructuring. So you can imagine, you can say, what would I do if? Or imagine that. Imagine that you truly revered who you are. Imagine that you truly revered and honored who you are. Imagine you held yourself as a luxury vehicle, as a treasure, as a gem, as a temple. What relationships would you allow into your life? What food would you allow into your life? What substances would you allow into your life? What thoughts would you allow into your life? What behaviors would you allow into your life? So start to think about, what would that version of myself do and think? And get very clear. If you start with the imagination, what would that self do? What would that self think? What would that self do? What would that self eat? When would that self sleep? How much exercise would that self get? What projects would that self work on? Get really clear, and then align your actions and your thoughts and your behaviors as much as possible in order to grow and fortify and strengthen that new identity into inevitability. Let's go. Let's do this. Join me.